I'm going to break down the 2024 Baylor women's volleyball roster. And I'm only going over this now because they have a practice game against themselves a week from now, even though the national poll has not been released yet. And I'm sure it's going to be released next week, I would think. But we'll see. And not only that, they have a practice game against Texas A&M a week from Saturday as well. Then the regular season starts on August 30th against Abilene Christian and Tulsa, and then September 1st against Campbell. So, first I'll go break down the roster position by position, then how many grad seniors, how many juniors, how many sophomores, freshmen, and I'm even including redshirt freshmen and all, redshirt players in all this for the specific classifications too. It is a 19-player roster overall, and one true defensive specialist, but there's 3 of them that are slash liberos as well. So, technically it could be up to 4. If not, it's just 1. But either way, you got at least 3 liberos. And how many middle blockers? 4 of them. And you bring back your top 2 from last year, and that's huge. Because, Alicia Andrew, prior to last year, she hardly played. And your top 1 was from the JUCO ranks. And it is a difference from JUCO volleyball to Division I, especially at the power conference level. I'm just telling the truth. It is faster. And then how many outside hitters? 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. How many opposites? 3 of those. And 4 setters. And thank goodness they did get a draft transfer there. And I kind of broke down who it was in Jackie Berry Frazier. At the time it was Jackie Barrett from Auburn. But you get the point. I went over some of the other players they got in from the transfer portal, like Jennifer Bolden from Howard as an opposite, and Brielle Warren as an outside hitter from Purdue. And I guess she didn't hardly play at Purdue, but when you look at the background, she is still a solid player. And hopefully she contributes when Kendall Stowers is no longer going to play at Baylor. So that's that. And how many grad seniors / seniors? Technically 2 grad seniors, but they do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other seniors on the roster. So it is an experienced team, and I know some of those may not play a lot because, simply put, the players ahead of them are younger, but you get the point in all this. How many juniors? They actually only have 4 of those, including a redshirt junior. So 11 players that are upperclassmen. This is not a young team unlike a year ago. It's not. So how many sophomores do they have? And I'm including redshirt sophomores. 4 sophomores, and technically how many freshmen do they have? 1, 2, 3, 4, including the redshirt. So it is an older team. And Baylor's preseason picked 5th, as we all know, in the Big 12. And the Big 12 is wide open. I really do think at least they make the NCAA tournament as a round of 64 team. And in terms of the Big 12, a top 6 finish. Now, the ceiling of the team, that's a different story. I don't know about being first, but maybe second in the Big 12. I mean, it's realistic. First, it's not totally impossible because, look, there is no Texas in the conference anymore. But we'll have to wait and see, though. And in terms of the national scale, I don't know about Elite 8 right now. I would say more of a Sweet 16 team. Just being honest. And it does also depend on how they do against the better opponents on the schedule, like Wisconsin. And I know that's going to be a tough one. And they have to play against Minnesota, which I know Minnesota had a down year last year, but I mean, like around a 32 team. And I get that. But obviously, this team does not need to lose to teams that they shouldn't. Like, unlike a year ago, like if they're ranked, don't lose to unranked as much as last year. And you got to get more top 25 wins if you want to get like a good RPI and be a top 16 seed. But even if you're a top 16 seed, it does not guarantee going to the Sweet 16 because upsets do happen in the NCAA tournament. Luckily, they do have the first like 3 games at home and then on the road to Rice, which I know Rice didn't make the NCAA tournament last year, but they've been in the NCAA tournament in the past. That's to tell the truth. And then you got Minnesota, so at home, and that's around a 32 team. If we could just at least split between Minnesota and Wisconsin, but if we really beat Wisconsin, man, that's going to be dangerous. That dangerous for the national scale, I mean. I'm just telling the truth. And they got SMU at home this year, and you lost 3 sets to 2, and you got to be better in terms of like longer matches. I'm just telling the truth. And you got LSU at home. That should be a win. Then Stanford at home. I would think that'd be a win. Now, Texas is a different story. Even though that match is at home, I'm not going to bank on that as being a win right now. And Hawaii's been an NCAA tournament team in the past. And y'all already know about the Big 12. Like, it's not as strong, especially when Texas is gone. But there's still some good teams on there. And we only played Kansas once. And their preseason picked to be the best in the Big 12, as we all know. I'm trying to pull up a preseason poll for this year here just to give y'all some understanding in terms of how many matches against certain opponents. Well, I know we played TCU twice this year. Again, and granted, some of these opponents we only play once. It's just due to the nature of you can't play everybody anymore twice. That is. And Oklahoma State does not have a volleyball team, a women's volleyball team. So there's only like 15 of them. And I already broke down the schedule already in terms of how many NCAA tournament teams and all that. So now BYU, you only play one time. And it's on the road. Unfortunately, it is on the road. So Arizona, like in terms of like in the beginning of the conference, though, September 25th is the first one against Arizona. And Arizona's preseason pick number 12. You need to win that game. I'm telling you guys right now. Then Arizona State is like actually picked ahead of Baylor, like 3rd, but that's just splitting hairs. And literally, TCU was preseason picked 4th. It's not that big of a difference. And it's only a difference of 2 points when you look at it. But preseason polls, they're just more of a talking point instead of what really is going to happen. Unless, obviously, there's Texas in the way and everything. But you get the point. And luckily, we do play TCU twice. So, and hopefully we do better against them this year than last year. I'm hoping so. And you got Utah on the road right after BYU. And Utah is like 9th in the conference, preseason picked. You need to win that game. Cincinnati, you need to win that one. They're like lower end of the conference here, like 13th. Then Houston, I know, and Houston's actually preseason pick number 8. I don't know how many teams from the Big 12 are going to make the NCAA tournament. No, I would think no more than 6 teams, but we'll see. And like I said, we already played TCU again, and we're only going to play Iowa State only once this year. And luckily, that is at home, not on the road. And Iowa State's like right behind Baylor. Literally. By 2 points. I mean, 2 points in terms of the preseason poll. Like they're number 6 and we're number 5. And there's Colorado that's number 10 in the conference. You need to win that game. You can't have any bad losses, especially you want to improve your get a good enough resume just to be a top 16 seed. And you do have Texas Tech, and they're the worst team in the conference, preseason picked. And it's on the road, and I know that's not what you want, but if you're going to have to go on the road somewhere, that's the place to be. Sorry, I call it the way it is. And then UCF, they're like preseason pick number 11. And you get that match at home, and hopefully this year we did beat Kansas State once last year. This year we're going to have to go on the road to Kansas State. And they're literally 7th, and they're like 141 points in the Big 12 poll. And they actually have one first place vote, which I wonder who gave them that vote. That doesn't make sense to give one first place vote to a 7th seed in the Big 12. And we're going to play Kansas just a once. Actually, we play Texas Tech again, so we play them twice, the worst team twice, so that's even better. And like we're going to play Cincinnati again as well as Houston. So it's not like, so really we're going to play Kansas once, TCU twice, so that's 3 matches right there against top 4 opponents right there, and then BYU once and Arizona State once. So, and it's not as daunting of a task, so to speak, in terms of preseason poll wise, but maybe in the Big 12, but maybe national scale it could be, but we're going to have to wait and see. So, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. But I'm not going to sleep on Kansas State because they're like right there with us. I mean, and same thing goes for Iowa State. Maybe 17's individual go to the NCAA tournament, but I'm not so sure. It depends on what everyone else does. And we need to find a way to make the NCAA tournament this year. I do think we have a good future ahead of the program, though I really do. And we're experienced this year, though. So, I'm sorry if I'm going to repeat this or not, but the ceiling, I think, second in the conference, maybe first, if we win enough conference matches. It's wide open, but I would say second just to be safe. And like in terms of Big 12 and national scale, like a Sweet 16. I don't know about Elite 8. It's all about matchups from that point. I'm just saying. And at worst, like a top 6 finish, like number 6 or 7, which hopefully, if we do end up 7th, we still find a way to get in the NCAA tournament then. But I trust Murray McGuire and the staff to find a way to get back to get another NCAA tournament bid. I don't think the talent's the issue. It's just we gotta find. I know it's not as technically as good I think as last year because of losing Avery Carlson to Texas. That hurts. But getting Jackie Berry, it's like a 1-for-1 yearly. And no Kendall Stowers, but she hardly played some because of concussion last year too. So, and we're going to have to wait and see what really happens in all this. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. See you guys later on the road to 700 subscribers. Of course, the ultimate goal is 1,000 or more. So make money off this course. Like a video, comment video really helps YouTube algorithm so more people could see it. Sharing the video does help as well so more people could watch. And if you're watching and not subscribed, hit subscribe button. Hit the notification bell as well. So the floor, and on a national scale, I would just think just making the NCAA tournament. That's really it is for me. I don't see this team falling out of the NCAA tournament bid, but if they're like number 7 in the conference, that might hurt them. unless the committee thinks otherwise, I have to say no more than 6. That to me is the max, but for sure 5. I mean, I would think. But wait and see what happens though.